If you watched the last episode, you already know that anxiety is not a flaw. It's an alarm system. We talked about breathing, about grounding in the present, about how to name what you feel. Today we go further, because understanding anxiety is an extraordinary first step, but managing it day after day, in the middle of real life, requires something more. It requires practice. It requires concrete strategies. And it requires, sometimes, the courage to look inward and change a few habits that, without realizing it, are feeding your anxiety instead of reducing it. Let's talk about that. Before solutions, we need to talk about something uncomfortable. There are things we do every day, without realizing it, that keep anxiety alive. First, the phone. Compulsively checking news, social media, notifications, keeps your nervous system in a permanent state of alert, constantly, without a break. Second, avoidance. When anxiety appears, the first instinct is to run. You postpone the difficult conversation, avoid the situation that scares you, decline the social invitation. In the moment, you feel relieved. Long-term, anxiety grows. Third, perfectionism. The impossible standards you impose on yourself, at work, at home, as a mother, as a partner, generate a chronic state of inadequacy and worry. Recognizing these habits is not self-criticism. It is clarity. And clarity is the first step toward change. Let me tell you about one of the most powerful tools in psychotherapy: gradual exposure. It sounds complicated, but it isn't. It means confronting gradually, deliberately, and in a controlled way, the situations that cause you discomfort. A concrete example. Sarah, 43 years old. She's been avoiding for months a difficult conversation with her manager about her workload. Every time she thinks about it, anxiety overwhelms her, and she postpones, again and again. Through gradual exposure, Sarah could do this. First, she writes down what she wants to say. No pressure to act immediately. Then, she rehearses the conversation in her mind, or with a trusted friend. Next, she sends a brief email requesting a meeting. And finally, she has the conversation. Each small step sends the brain a new message. I faced this. I survived. It was manageable. It doesn't mean not being afraid. It means moving forward despite the fear. I know this might seem surprising, but some of the most effective solutions for anxiety are not in your mind. They are in your body. Physical movement is one of the most powerful natural anxiolytics available to you. Free. No side effects. A meta-analysis published in JAMA Psychiatry confirms that regular aerobic exercise reduces anxiety, comparably to certain medications. You don't need a gym. You don't need a complicated program. A 30-minute walk 3 times a week changes the neurochemistry of your brain. Sleep is another factor we constantly underestimate. An exhausted brain perceives threats more intensely and recovers from stress more slowly. Protecting your sleep is not a luxury. It is a necessity. And caffeine? Yes, we need to talk about it. Caffeine stimulates the same physiological response as anxiety. If you struggle with anxiety, try reducing your intake and observe what happens. Jennifer, 47 years old, noticed that her most anxious mornings consistently followed evenings with wine and social media, scrolling until midnight. When she replaced that ritual with reading and herbal tea, her morning anxiety decreased significantly within 2 weeks. Without any other intervention, small, consistent changes build the foundation on which everything else is constructed. I want to close this episode with something nobody tells you often enough. Managing anxiety is not a destination. It is a journey. There will be days when everything works, and there will be days when anxiety comes back with full force, when the techniques feel insufficient, when you wonder if any of this is actually working. Both types of days are normal. They are valid. They are part of the process. Think of a woman of 44 who, 2 years ago, had panic attacks in supermarkets and avoided social situations entirely. Today, she still feels anxiety in certain moments, but she knows what it is. She knows what to do, and most importantly, she knows it will pass. That is not a small achievement. It is a profound transformation. You don't need to eliminate anxiety from your life. You need to learn to live well alongside it, and gradually, let it take up less and less space. And if this journey feels too difficult to walk alone, therapy is not a last resort. It is a wise and courageous choice. One breath at a time, one step at a time. Forward, always forward.